Good evening, Facebook. Welcome to another edition of the MMB Live Show. I'm Angela Green, Executive Director of On Location Memphis, and I want to welcome you this evening. So, now we know that filmmakers and music creators are both creative entrepreneurs, which means everything regarding the business is pretty much your responsibility, including planning for that time when you may want to sit down. You want to create options for yourself because in your latter years, you don't want to have to create. You want to create because that's what you want to do. So, with that in mind, we do have a financial planning specialist, Ronell Rolfe with Rolfe Financial Services. He's going to come on tonight to kind of talk to us about some things that creative entrepreneurs can think about as they plan and things that they can do right now as they plan for retirement. And so tonight, unfortunately, I don't have my sidekick, Christy Taylor. She's not with me tonight. She's actually feeling under the weather, and we hope she gets well real soon. But I am so happy that for the first time, I'm able to bring on our creative coordinator, Graham Duvall. He's going to be with me tonight, co-hosting, kind of pitch hitting for Christy. He's an artist, and so he's definitely going to be able to add a lot to the conversations that we have tonight. And we do have some news to discuss. So go ahead and hit the like button, share the stream, let everybody know that the MMB Live Show is about to begin right now. All right, so I want to welcome to the virtual stage Graham Duvall. How you doing, Graham?
Hello, Angela. Happy to be here this evening. How are you?
I know. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So now, where are you? Let everybody know where you're coming from.
So I am streaming in from Maine this evening.
Oh wow! Excellent.
Yeah.
I know
Glad to be here, but sad to be here under the circumstances. We hope Christy, you feel better.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. So hopefully she'll be feeling better next month when we get back at it for our next MMB Live show. But always happy to have you come in and fill in.
Yes.
Especially when you so Graham is usually on Instagram. So he's usually live with Graham, correct?
Yes. You guys can find me on Instagram. Go live with Graham on Instagram.
Yes, absolutely. So tonight, we usually do a news segment show, but since Christy's not here, I'll go ahead and put that to the side for today. But I do want to actually inform our audience about some news, some very important news that just came out on June 2nd. And actually, this news is important for all types of creatives. That's filmmakers, that's music creators, that's artists, that's anybody who's dealing with intellectual property. So I don't know if people realize that one of the drawbacks, especially in the music industry, is always the complaint that your music is being stolen, infringed. And I get artists all the time that call me about what can I do about this person. They basically taken my music and things of that nature, but copyright law is federal. So that means in order for you to enforce your copyrights, you actually have to go into federal court to do that. And it is very expensive to go to hire an attorney to basically file a copyright infringement claim in federal court. And so many times, because of the lack of funds not enforce their copyrights because of that fact. So many people have been complaining about that. They've talked to their senators, talked to individuals about this issue. And so a few years back, they actually introduced legislation that charged the Copyright Office to actually create a small claims court, some sort of venue that a recourse for artists or individuals who have claims that may be smaller, and they can basically get that dispute resolved without having to file in federal court. So it's almost like mediation, so to speak. You know what I'm saying, for the federal court. So June 2nd, they have announced that the court, I mean the board is ready to start receiving claims. So starting June 16th, 2022, individuals will be able to go online and file their claims. And for copy. Now, thing is, there is some statute of limitations. So if you were infringed 10 years ago, you're not going to be able to file that claim. You actually has to be within 3 years of the infringement for you to file it, and you are limited in your recourse as far as the monetary value of it. So they have put a limit of $30,000, which I know that's quite a lot. That's kind of small comparatively speaking when you think about federal court, but
compared to what the claims they're going for and the amount of money that they're spending in, if so they can prove that's a good chunk to the people who are going to be doing this for sure.
Absolutely. Now the thing is, they're setting it up so the artists can be able to file these on their own. I mean, it's all with the point that you're not hiring an attorney. You're basically doing this, representing yourself in these claims. The only drawback that I see in this situation is both parties have to agree. They can't, if you file the claim against someone, that other person can opt out. And I don't know about that.
Yeah, I find that interesting because in a court situation, like, it's interesting that the other party can opt out. Like, I could see that, like, if I'm telling you that you infringed on my copyrights, and then that person can all of a sudden be like, no, I don't want to go into court. I don't know about that.
Well, the thing is this board is not court. And that's the reason why they're able to opt out. And people are asking this question, this Constitution, and how it outlines the laws or the roles of the federal courts and guarantees. And so with that is a guarantee for, a jury trial and due process. And because the CCB is a board and it's not court, both parties have to agree in order to move forward with it. And if they do opt out, then at that point, your only recourse is to file in federal court. But if somebody, if they neglect to opt out, then I'm sure they give them a period of time in which they have to opt out. If they neglect to opt out, then at that point, it's going to be on, and they're going to have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a step in the right direction for sure. It's good to see the people making change as far as people being able to take action like this.
I know,
very inspiring.
I think just someone getting a note, an email message, because all of this is going to be online. So it's not like you have to go to Washington, D.C. or anything like that. It's probably, going to be online, either email messages back and forth or even some kind of, virtual type of Zoom meeting, so to speak. But I think someone even getting a notification that someone has filed a claim, that may do something or have some kind of meat behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah. Just having that little bit of extra layer of protection, like you said, that if someone is getting that notice, then they know that they're treading on thin ice. That, like, okay, maybe they opt out, but there's still that chance that if they continue to proceed with this music, that they could conceivably get taken to court.
Right.
Which is nice.
Yeah, and if you have everything in order as far as your copyrights filed, all the information, then you definitely can take them to federal court. But my thing is, it kind of keeps us from having, it's always been the thing. Well, we'll let you infringe until you make some money, and then once you do that, then I'll come after you. Well, why don't you go ahead and file your claim now? It's no need for you to wait. Go ahead and enforce your rights and get it put them on notice that I see what you're doing. You're infringing my copyrights, and if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to have some
Now,
consequences.
now let me ask this question. So, say I file a claim and the person does opt out. Does it still stay on record that I filed that claim and that they opted out, so that, like, in the event that there is something down the road, that it's on record that I did file a claim, but it didn't go anywhere? But
I think it does.
because that's pretty powerful too.
Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, I think it will, you still have that documentation that you did file a claim. And the thing is, it's not going to preclude you from going into federal court.
Yeah,
So if they continue to do what they do, then, by the time, if they do make some serious money with it and they go into federal court, then at that point, you should be able to get an attorney who's willing
yeah,
to move forward if all of your paperwork is in order.
exactly.
Because, that's almost a slam dunk of a case type of a
Exactly.
situation.
Because if you had that documented before and they didn't do anything, and then they continued, it's like the burden of proof is there.
Exactly. So I would encourage everyone, go to the copyright website. You're looking for the Copyright Claims Board, the CCB. Again, June 16th is when that website is going to be up and available and ready to accept those claims.
And now that's the copyright small claims, correct?
It's called Copyright Claims Board is what they call it. You can go to the copyright website in order to find information about the copyright claims board.
And this is all intellectual property, not just
music. That's why I say this announcement is for everyone who has anything to do with intellectual property. This is for you. Also, too, you can, and this I thought was kind of interesting. You can file a claim, a declaration of non-infringement. So, say you're doing something and you just wanted to get on the record that when I do this, this will not be infringement. You can actually file for a declaration of non-infringement, which that might be kind of useful for people as well.
Yeah.
So, and then also you can, if you find that that someone has misrepresented with your, those digital millennial copyright acts, those DACA notices.
Yeah.
You can actually file something like if somebody basically reports you and they're basically misrepresenting their position, you can file a claim against them for that, which I thought that was kind of interesting because have you noticed that you can have your copyrights, you can have your rights to use music on these websites, but they will still, like YouTube, Facebook, and all of them, they will still, if somebody else says no, this is a claim, they won't even look at your documentation. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
it's such a pain in the butt. I have definitely been dealing with that lately, and they say they have the reason to contest, but it's like so hard to contest, and even though you have the license and all that stuff, and I think this is going to be very helpful with that.
Right. Yeah. Especially when you're dealing with artists who have music on CD Baby or some of these other streaming platforms that are also doing the monetization on YouTube and Facebook and everything like that. But if you get a license directly from the artist, you should be able to submit that license to them and they should release that claim, because you've already paid for that license.
Yeah,
it should be that way. It should.
Yeah, I was gonna say it shouldn't even get to that point if you have the license.
That point,
but yeah.
Yeah, maybe CD Baby and them are gonna start getting these misrepresentations.
Yeah, I'd be surprised now with this new small claims coming out, how that's gonna shift that whole digital distribution avenue.
Exactly. So I did not see exactly what the filing fees are going to be for that. But of course, it's going to be way cheaper than going to federal court. But but it's going to be some sort of filing fee. So anyway, just want to put everybody on notice. Definitely look out out for that. June 16th is the date. That's when you can start. That's the Copyright Claims Board. you want to check it out.
Heck yeah.
Excellent. So we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be right back with our guest. All right, so we are back. So we're taking a little deviation from what we normally, some of the content we normally have on the MMB Live Show. I was actually talking to one of my financial advisors, and he's kind of helped me, in things that I put into place. Just thinking about my retirement. Mm-hmm. But in talking to him, I thought about creative entrepreneurs, because, I run my own law practice. So I'm an entrepreneur. So that I know that this is something that I have to think about. If I'm going to have a retirement, I'm going to have to plan for it. If I don't plan for it, there's not going to be a retirement. I'll have to work for the rest of my life. But you think about creative entrepreneurs, they're in the same position because, if they're not planning for retirement, then there's just not going to be one. And I think it's very, it's heartbreaking to see and play until their 50s and 60s or whatever. But what about that artist that, he may get in his 50s and 60s and may not want to, or may not physically be able to perform, and may not have the hits where the residual income is coming in, like clockwork, every quarter. And so I was just thinking that this is something that, artists need to think about now.
Definitely.
In their late 20s, early 30s or whatever. And there has to be ways, that they can do it. Because I know a lot of times income may be short, not as much discretionary income. But even with that being the case, it's something that you definitely should think about and, just kind of start putting things in place.
Definitely.
So that's kind of what I was thinking about.
Definitely something that needs to be being in the conversation more, I think, which is great while we're doing this evening.
Right. So tonight we have a financial advisor with us. His name is Ronell Rolfe. He's with Rolfe Financial Services. And I want to welcome to the virtual stage. Hey, Ronell, how you doing?
Hello, Ronell.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I think you're muted.
Oh, yeah, you're muted. Uh-oh. I guess Ronell will be back in just a second.
Yep.
And so Ronell is actually one of my financial advisors. I have a couple that I talk to. Yeah. And so he actually works with artists as well as sports individuals in this area. Okay, he's back.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, we can hear you now.
There we go.
Okay.
How you
doing?
When
I was saying hello, my internet went out. But greetings to both of you. Thanks for having me on the show.
It happens. Thank you for being here.
Yes, thank you.
So, Ronell, why don't you just, tell our audience a little bit about you and what you do?
Okay. Well, to make it very, very easy and simple, I'm a problem solver. I solve problems that individuals have financially, whether that be helping them save money, grow their money for retirement, or perhaps just making sure that they have money somewhere adequate for when they need it. It actually outbeats inflation and grows larger than having it where it is now. There is a such thing of having too much money in your savings or your checking account. So I show them other avenues to put their money and grow their money that will outbeat where they're growing now. Pretty much show them how to grow their money through inflation, through compound interest, and get an actual rate of return that's protected against the market loss.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
So real simple, I just solved their money problems. Real simple.
You just solve all the money problems.
I solved the money problems.
So is there anything different per se that you would advise a creative entrepreneur from, say, just a person like myself who's an entrepreneur?
Definitely. You want to think about not only today, but you want to think about the future. You want to think about what is going to happen when tomorrow comes. Am I going to be able to hang my shoes up and retire and be satisfied? Now, when I say retire, I don't mean you're no longer going to work. You're no longer going to sell a record. You're no longer going to tour. I mean retiring to the point to where you don't have to do it. Okay, that means you're no longer working for money. If you want to sell a record, if you want to create another record, if you want to go on tour, that's fine. But that don't mean you have to do it. At what point in your life do you want to stop working for money and your money want to work for you? These are things that you need to be thinking about right now, and have that internal clock in your mind, because everybody have a number. Everybody have a number. So let me help you figure out how to get to that number.
So, okay, let's go with the most ideal age. What is the most ideal age you would say that creative entrepreneur should have started doing something about this?
Early as possible. Early as possible, because when you think about it, you're dealing with the power of compound interest. So the earlier you get in, the more you have for it to compound time over time over time. So it's not so much of how much you save, but where you save is the key. So when you're saving in a place that's going to be developing compound interest, it really doesn't take a lot of money. You just letting time cook and grow it and grow it and grow it. So the older you are, the less time you actually have for it to mature and get to that desired amount you have. So I would say nobody's too young or too old, because now you have parents and grandparents setting up, trust fund babies and different accounts for kids before they even walking, to actually have a nice nest egg there for when they actually graduate high school, when they graduate college, basically giving them a head start, because you don't want every generation to have to start over. That's what makes it hard. So if you can pass down some wealth, even if it's just a little bit, just to keep the cycle going, that'll make a tremendous difference.
So what's the what would you say is the minimum that someone into a vehicle such as this, or can put into a vehicle such as this?
The good thing about me is I work with you on your own budget. So it really depends on what you can afford. So what I do is I got a budget tool that I do, and I base it off of your income. So what I do is I show them how to redirect money, meaning based off of whatever because we all have a circle of wealth. Everybody have a circle of wealth. The only difference is your number. That's the only difference. So what I do is I take and see how much they're actually making. Now let's go off a percentage of how much you're making. So for example, if you're making XYZ, let's say, okay, out of that amount, let's put 10% aside. Whatever that 10% may be, whether that 10% may be $100, maybe that 10% may be $1,000. We're just going to work with your 10% and continue to grow your money. So I like to do it a percentage instead of a number wise, because I don't want people thinking, well, I have to have $1,000 before I can go see somebody and grow my money, or I have to have 10,000 or 100. No, we're just going to work off a percentage of what you have, and we're going to grow that percentage, and we're going to grow your income at the same time.
Okay, that makes sense. So so if you're doing 1,500, 2,000 a month, you could just take a percentage of that and start working with that. So
absolutely, because I don't want you to get locked in with that number either. But if you locked in on the percentage, that percentage will continue to grow. You may be making 1,500 now, but what are you going to make a year from now? You don't want to continue to still pay that same monetary amount, and your lifestyle is changing. You can always get used to more money, but it's hard getting used to less money. So if you're not putting more into it, that means you're not actually keeping up with your own growth. So when it actually comes time for it, you have actually outbeat your own lifestyle now. You have to grow with yourself.
Oh wow, that's a good. I haven't thought of it like that. So, what type of products would you suggest someone to get into? So I
Well,
know I know you can get into the stock market and all this other stuff, but then
right,
there's also life insurance and stuff. So, what would
right,
you
right.
say?
Well, I like to start pretty much with the safe route first. There's several different vehicles that they can go, and it really depends on their risk tolerance and how soon they would need the money. But when you're just talking about abroad, I'm just doing a shotgun effect here now, just kind of spraying out to the masses. You want to put your money somewhere that's, first of all, is going to be safe against market volatility. Let's start there because you want to diversify your portfolio, but we're going to start at the ground level first. Somewhere that's safe, regardless of how the market is going up and down, and that's pretty much how it's doing now, that you don't have to worry about it going down when the market goes down. You want to also make sure it's somewhere that's accessible. When you need to touch it, you can get to it within a certain amount of time. You don't want to have to wait years before you actually can, pull from it. You want it pretty accessible. And then something that's going to have some living benefits to it in case you do get sick or you get injured or disabled and can longer contribute to it. What is something that's now going to pay me? Everything you have normally pays other people, but what do you have that's going to pay you? So when I do things like that, I like to look at life insurance policies with living benefits, such as a whole life policy, such as a index universal life policy, which is an IUL that's going to develop some cash value. It also is going to come with a death benefit, and it's going to come with a retirement component that pretty much is going to develop some compound interest time over time. So now you've pretty much killed three birds with one stone. You got a compounding interest component that you can use for your retirement, or you can even use it now. And the unique thing about it is, let's say you needed a lump sum of cash now, because now you pretty much became your own banker. You can pull the available funds out now, but it'll still be developing compound interest on the money that you already took out, as if it was still in there.
What?
Wow.
Right.
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's still growing. You pull $10,000 out, but that $10,000 is still making interest, although it has taken out and now it's in your possession and not in your account.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's been around for years, but it is coming more and more prominent now because you're having different artists that come back out and speak about it. The latest artist was Waka Flocka. If you go and research, that'll just Google it. It'll come up and it'll tell you how he puts money inside the policy and takes the money right back out and let the money grow inside it. Then he'll put it right back in and take it right back out. That's a very unique way to take advantage of, the tax laws.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Interesting. Let me see here. I don't know if we had any questions. We definitely got some. Oh, okay. Good stuff. Entertainers going to really need to hear this. Absolutely.
Yes.
And Sandra, hello everyone. Excellent. So, Ronell, if someone wants to ask more questions, how can they get in contact with you?
I'm very accessible. You can email me. You can text me. Any method that you have. I'm on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I was on Facebook. I got off and never got back on. But I am on Instagram, and I am on LinkedIn as well. You can just search me under my name, Ronell Rolfe, and my number should be up, so you can contact me there on the screen at my number. Give me a call or shoot me a text or even an email. Entrepreneurs, we have our phones stick to us all day, every day. So
right on the hip.
Yeah, it's on the hip. It's on the hip. Our phone is our lifestyle, so we don't go too far without it. But yeah, they can definitely reach out to me. And everybody's situation is personal and catered toward their individual goal and where they are in life. So even though we're talking abroad, when we speak one-on-one, I can kind of zone in on it and cater it to their individual needs to help them grow and show them, based off of your budget, you could be looking at this type of growth, or you can pull this type of money out when you're ready to retire, because you don't want to work forever. You don't want to work forever.
Yeah.
You want to get to the point to where when you doing work or touring or making records. You're doing it because you want to do it, not because you have to do it with the monetary goal in mind.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So all of you all, as you watch, those who are here, those who watch the video on the replay, just remember Ronell Rolfe with Rolfe Financial Services. He's here definitely to consult with you, just let you know exactly what's best for you. I mean, it doesn't hurt to at least ask the question.
Absolutely.
There's no shame in it. It doesn't matter how much money you make or how much or how little money you make. The goal is to start now, and it doesn't matter if you're in your early 30s, late 40s. Just start doing something now, because that's what matters, getting as much time on your side as possible. Correct?
Absolutely. I want to let them know this. The first thing is there's rules to money. One thing is money doesn't come with instructions. And the second thing is money has a mind of its own. Therefore, you need help with your money.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So you have the information that's scrolling down here. You have the contact information, Ronell Rolfe at rolfefinancialservices.com. His telephone number is 901-239-3465. Ronell, I appreciate you for coming here. I know you just got back in town, so I know you are tired. So
Absolutely.
We're not going to hold you that much longer, but we definitely appreciate you. And we are going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Thank you so much, Ronell. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing with the artists in the music community. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm a fan.
All right. Thank you.
Is your girlfriend over here? Yeah.
The system had one intention, to put us in prison. It's just that simple.
Cool. Kuwaili TV.
Yes.
I don't know, Graham. You had a lot of questions on your mind was clicking.
Oh yeah, I was just thinking, being up here in Maine, my first thought was, does Ronell work with artists all over the country?
Right.
So I might have to get in contact with Ron.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
So now we're going to move into our next segment, which is the MMB Track of the Month.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. So the MMB Track of the Month is "Hello Friend," written by Kirk Smith. So I'm gonna start playing it so we can kind of hear what he has here. There we go. Can you hear that?
Yes.
Cool. This is "Hello Friend." So Kirk is a composer, producer, and engineer. His passion is to bring artists' vision to life at every stage of the creative process. He's versatile in many genres, and he is a songwriter, producer, mostly pop, indie, hip hop, R&B, film, and of course, ambient music. He loves to create craft a great song, and he loves to make the song and the artist shine. Kirk actually scored the film Coming to Africa, which was one of our first contracts that we were able to get for him. Graham, when you listen to the song, what do you kind of envision or see visually?
This is the first thing that comes to mind is something that invokes a lot of emotion. I don't know. I've been filming some weddings lately, and I can see something like this, or like a slideshow of some pictures, or something that really you want to invoke some heavy emotion on this. I really like this one.
Oh, I would agree. Before there's reflection, someone is reflecting on memories.
Yes.
A memory montage, or something like that within a film scene. I can definitely hear this type of music.
It's almost got depending on what you want to. I don't know if you can still hear me. Depending on what you want to use it for, I could see this almost as an underwater scene too.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of got like that, like watery sound to it.
So that is Hello Friend. It is in the bank, the Memphis Music Banq. You can license that right now. You just go to memphismusicbank.com. Look for Kirk Smith. Most of his music is ambient type music, and he has several tracks that are in the bank, and so definitely a lot of good stuff that you can hear. And so if you like some more information about the Memphis Music Banq, check us out right here. Just 1 second. That's the Memphis Music Banq. If you're looking for music or need some music, a soundtrack for your next film project, definitely check us out, memphismusicbank.com. That's the home to quality content, legally sound, reasonably priced.
Indeed.
Absolutely. So we have come to the end of our MMB Live Show for June. I just want to thank you, Graham, for jumping in at the last minute for Christy. And we're going to have you on, when Christy's here. You've been
we should have a whole team live.
Exactly.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Let's do
so just if you need any information about us, we are On Location Memphis. Memphis Music Banq is a program of On Location Memphis. We work with artists in Tennessee. So we're always taking music in around the clock, around the, every month, every year on a rolling basis. So if you have music and you're a Tennessee music creator, you go to the website, submit your music. We would love to have you in the bank.
There's
and
a lot of good opportunities coming up for the
great opportunities coming up with the Tour Club, with the Memphis Music Production Project. So it's a lot of great things coming on, and we would love to have you be a part of it. So, but I guess until next month, I guess we'll just bid you all adieu or good night. And we'll see you all next week.
Share the stream, watch the replay.
And watch the replay. All right. Good night, everyone.
Hey, we'll see you later, Angela. See you later, everybody.